Real or fake? This question comes up all the time when dealing with collectibles. And of course, here on the Disney Docket channel, we're always talking about Disney cars. And today, the specific item in question are all my alleged, supposed Mini Adventures prototypes. Now, this line, Mini Adventures, was back in 2008 and 2009, and essentially was the Mini Racers or Micro Drifters line of that era. Mattel always had kind of a mini line going, just, at different times. And so I really want to dive in because I've accumulated quite a few of these. I want to break down, are they actually prototypes, or are they just somebody's creation in order to deceive the buyer? So the buyer thinks they have something valuable and they'll buy it thinking, hey, I got a prototype, but really it's something made to look like a prototype. And it happens a lot. Not everybody in the world is nice. I mean, there's people out there with the sole purpose of making a buck. So I want to educate everybody. I do get this question a lot, but of course I can't tell everybody individually, and not everybody knows to ask me. I know I am pretty well versed in this, but I just want to make a video sharing my knowledge and really telling you guys what a prototype constitutes. I did a whole video on all my prototypes in the past, but that was more of just me showing you guys them. And if you want to see that, you can check out that video in the description below or the card suggestion pop-up in the top right-hand corner. But this video is going to be focused on mini prototypes because first of all, I have a bunch. I've gotten a bunch recently. And second, they are so much easier to fake, at least in my opinion, and I'll explain why momentarily. So of course, in the thumbnail, I just showed these front ones here. Was this 7 here in the front, and because those are my most recent additions, and I think they are actually really cool. There's some pretty cool colorful ones in there, and then we'll use all the back ones as additional information. But let's just get the basic of a fake versus real. So you guys know factory customs, like this Gold McQueen right here. Great car, nice quality, something Mattel has not done, but it's fake. Some people in the factory took some materials and just made their own. It's like making your own sundae. Honestly, that's what it is. Now, a lot of people do know that this is not from Mattel because Mattel never tried to make this, but those same people also try and manipulate and deceive. They'll make something and they'll own up to it like, yeah, this is my custom, but then, they'll do something else like, yeah, some of these, I'm going to tell you right now, some of these are fake, and I did buy them knowing that. I got them for a cheap price, but I wanted to make this video. I wanted to buy them for the purpose of making this video. So we're going to start here with why Mini Adventures in specific are much easier to fake than, let's just say, a normal 155 scale car. First of all, they're entirely plastic. There's no metal on them whatsoever except for the screws, which is exactly what makes them easy to customize, essentially. When you have rivets on a car, like right here, those are rivets from the Chinese customizers. It's just so much difficult. You have to drill through them and destroy them to, undo the car. And then you have to either re-rivet them, or you have to put screws in there. You have to use glue and epoxy, and it's a mess. But for these, you can easily take a really thin screwdriver and just take the whole car apart. Same thing goes with pitties. Pitties are the same way for the most part. Usually they use screws and not rivets. So that's why you can take the whole car apart, separate all the pieces, spray paint one piece entirely, and then put it back together, and it looks good as new or as good as a prototype. Now this one here, I have these two Sarges, bronze and silver. Now, I would have loved it if these were prototypes, but I'm going to come out and tell you right now, these are fakes. First of all, you just got to know your source. I'm going to say that is my #1 priority. I need to know my source because that just first of all opens the door for so many other things. You know, if you know your source, you have a trust with them, maybe you can come back to them and question, you can ask them for more pictures, you can ask them for where they got it from. But if you don't know the source, if you're buying from an eBay seller for the first time or somebody with little feedback on eBay, that's a red flag. I mean, if they have 95% feedback, that's pretty bad for eBay standards. You want at least 99.5. I mean, a lot of people, you know, good sellers, they have like a 99.9 to 100. That's what you're looking for. And you want to know their sales, and it's all available to you on their eBay page. You just need to know where to look. So once you know your source, let's say you know the source, you know, it's a good source, you bought from them before, and you've been satisfied. Now moving on to the car specifically here. Mattel, when they do their prototypes, they're not going for anything fancy. They're not trying to make the coolest prototype ever, because honestly, they don't care. They're just trying to get a prototype done so they can show the heads at Mattel and be like, is this good? Does this work? Does it roll? Does it look, you know, sustainable? And that's it. You know, they don't need to make something beautiful. And that's why the silver and bronze here, this little duo, kind of raises a red flag in my opinion. Mattel, you know, like I said, they're not trying to go for like some Christmas glitz and glamour here that you throw up on a Christmas tree. They're just trying to make it bare bones. Like these ones over here, they're not the prettiest prototypes in the world, but they're legit, you know. They don't need to have like a vibrant color or anything. So that's, you know, a red flag to begin with. And especially here, we're going to take a look at this silver one. Now, the paint applied is really well done, but that's because it's easy to do. Like I said, you unscrew it, you just spray paint it, but even then, this person did a bad job. Because you guys know Sarge, right? He's kind of like that, I don't know, army color, you know, that greenish, kind of brownish mix, and you can actually see a little bit of that on the undercarriage here that was not fully painted or the silver wore off. You can kind of see that there and there. Now, the red base really confuses me as well. And I don't think they painted it, or maybe they did actually, but it just doesn't fit with the silver. Like, why would Mattel make a red base, paint the tires like halfway? Now, painting the tires a little bit, you know, it's been done before. Like, I'll show you some legit ones. You know what happens where the like spray paint just kind of splashes onto the tires and they don't get it all the way? But it just doesn't add up here where you have red, you have the little kind of army color still hanging out here at the base, and then you have the black and then the silver on the tires. You even have some red coming up here. So it just doesn't add up here, and that would be a red flag. The biggest thing though is the fact that there's that green there. That's what you want to look for. If that original color of the character is still showing, that's bad. I mean, that means that, you know, somebody painted it. Same thing here, but they did do a little bit better job on this bronze one. But you can still see, you know, like there's that red. I mean, I think the biggest thing on this one in specific is if you look at the rims here, it's a dark red, and then like the axle in there is like a different color. I just don't get that. That doesn't really add up to me. I'm going to say that a lot because there's like a lot of factors to be a prototype, and they all have to add up to legitness, you know, and if even one of them is not there, just, you know, raises a lot of suspicion to me. But yeah, this one definitely is harder to tell. But when you see that little like red there, see some red up there, it just, I don't know. Definitely weird, right? And I mean, Mattel, you know, they would just paint the whole thing and then apply it all together. Not, whoa, I didn't even know that was going to happen. Yeah, see, this is, another big red flag here. If you can take it apart, it means it's already been taken apart by somebody else, most likely. Yeah, so there you go. I like that. I'm glad that that thing started to come off there. Now let's show you guys a legit one here. So we're going to take this boost, for example. Now I got this from an eBay seller from Japan. Now, if you look at their, you know, I'm not going to show you guys, but I'll put the seller name in the description so you can check it out. I'll actually just put the link, you know, so you guys can check it out for yourself. But they have solid feedback. They're not perfect, but they have good feedback, and they have sold a ton of stuff. And you can see they have a ton of other prototypes on there. It's not just like one-off thing. It's not like somebody's, you know, single attempt, quick attempt to gain a few bucks. And so once you get to know your seller and, they have good feedbacks, people say good things about them, it's most likely, a legit prototype here. So for example, you have this kind of like ivory color. Now they're not going for something super fancy. Like I said before, it's, just kind of whatever they got laying around. And this is like actually unpainted. This is not even a color at all. And also another factor is the base coat. Now this is more prevalent on like the 155 scale cars. Like for example here, I don't really have one nearby. But yeah, actually, I'll just show you guys the mini adventures here that I have that are legit, or they're not even prototypes, they're just regular releases. You can see that white stamp right there is the date stamp to signify that, it went out into production and got packaged up and sold off somewhere. That is a big indicator. Now, it's easy to scratch off, but it's something that you should always look for. So the person who made those two Sarges did know to scratch it off, but you can see here, it's not present. And here is a Snot Rod, by the way, which will come in very important when we compare him to that red supposed prototype. You can also see this black part right here, and everything is just so flush. You have like just a solid black part, and then right away it meets the ivory color. There's no kind of like paint over, there's no blemish. It's just, putting the unpainted parts together. So yes, this is a legit prototype. One I'm pretty happy to have for sure. Same thing with this Lizzie here. This is a half painted one. Now you can tell that these are all separate parts. So when they were painted individually and then put together, there shouldn't be any like oversplash or overspray like we kind of see here with the red bronze mix. It's all just kind of like cut and dry, it's black and white. There's no overspray, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is a pretty nice one since it's half painted, half not, from that same seller that I have bought from many times before. Whoa, that is weird though. It has a date stamp. That actually just kind of raises some suspicion to me. I would still say it's legit though, because of the color. Like this ivory color is just pretty strange to recreate, but that is a little weird. Maybe it was just further in advance. Maybe that's why it's half painted. I do have like another half painted one somewhere. I'm not sure if it's out here today. But moving on now to this Snot Rod here. So this one here is the same color as so I have these two red prototypes. Now, I don't honestly know if this one's legit or not. I've been questioning this one for a long time, to be completely honest with you guys. It's got this white base. The red's kind of tinted it a little bit, and you can see the reds on the tires a little bit. The side view mirrors are chipping off to be blue, which is kind of the same color that this would normally be. I believe this is like the Hot Rod hyped up Mater that was like a light blue, dark blue two-tone a little bit. So it is kind of hard to tell with this one. This one is definitely in question. I did get it from a very reputable source though, so that's why I still believe it to be a true prototype. But when I get this other one here that's the same exact color, it's chipping in kind of the same ways. It's got, that same red oversplash onto the tires. It definitely raises some questions to me. But here if we look at the base, you can see like the tint again. There's no date stamp, so that's a good thing. But then, you can see a little orange there. So obviously this is Snot Rod. So if you're looking here, you can see that base. There is some orange left over there. And if you, see this in person, it's a little easier to tell than off the camera. But yeah, that is some orange paint right there left over that they miss when they're spray painting this thing out in their garage. So yeah, that was the big red flag to me, and that's when I was like, yep, that's not a prototype. Sorry, man. You're going in the bin of lost antiquities. But yeah, this is a legit, regular release Snot Rod, and then this is somebody's creation of a prototype. I always thought it'd be fun to make a prototype, but then I'd be like, I never really want to, because what's the point of making something fake? You know what I'm saying? I'd make like an actual custom of a car that didn't appear in the movie. But yeah, so that just automatically says that's fake. And this Mater here is definitely in question, but I'm going to stick with it being a legit prototype because of the source. And, as I said before, source is my #1 go-to when it comes to these things. And I've bought many prototypes in the past that were not legit. I'm a full admitter of it. I am honest about it, and I admit my mistakes, and I'm like, dang, that really stinks. But it is what it is. You live and you learn, and that's why I want to educate you guys here. So all those fake ones that, these 4 here are the, ones in question. These 3 being definitely fake, and then this one being, on the fence. And now I just want to show you guys what to look for in a legit prototype, because all these, I'm 99.9% sure are legit. So here we have just a Wingo, just a blank Wingo that doesn't have any decals, but it is his same color of green. But I do believe this one to be legit. You have no date stamp, and I got it from a great seller down in Australia who has a bunch of other stuff that comes from the same, source. So I would assume, shouldn't assume, I know it's real. Now, as I'm going through the rest of them here, I do want to give you guys a little update on my channel, Disney Docket, and what's going on with the video schedule, because I've been pretty inactive lately. So here's a leak list, by the way, from the Japanese seller. But yeah, so I've been super inactive for the last week and a half. Last video I posted was my case unboxing of those drag racers, which has done tremendous. I just want to say thank you guys so much for showing so much support on that video. I really do appreciate it. It blew me away. I didn't think those would be so popular because the mud racers from the XRS line were not popular at all. At least, everybody except Leakless, and it's only because Leakless was a new character that he was actually kind of exciting and attracted some views. But I do plan on reviewing those cars. You guys voted for me to review them together instead of separately, so that's what I will do. And I did receive the 3-pack with Brick Yardley, by the way, so it'll be a nice inclusive review of the entirety of Wave 1 and not just everybody except Brick, so I got him in there. But I probably won't do that for a little bit just because I just did the unboxing on them and want to space it out a little bit. I still plan to do my reviews on Jenny Tolman and Jen Tan Sedan. And it's a really good time to do them right now because we're in a little bit of a lull of the singles. We just had Case M come out hitting Target and Walmart's, with Bryn Imager and Kevin Riven and those guys. And so now that that case has been out, we've been waiting on Case P, I think it is, or Case, yeah, I think it's Case P with Mike Stockcar, Ryan Inside Laney, and those guys. And that one should be out really soon. So I'll unbox that, review those new cars, which I don't think there's too many in that case. And then obviously we'll just continue on with the case unboxings. Now these are a little weird. Again, a little questionable because you can see that green tint that wasn't painted over, but I've encountered a lot of these white prototypes that are a little powdery, I guess you could say, that are just weirdly painted. There's a lot of unpainted spots, and there's edges that are, from the old coloring. You got this orange tone, very strange, but good sources. I got these all from good sources. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for the next couple of weeks here. I do have some other things I want to review as well. Hopefully I can find the next gen leak list in that Walmart 5-pack soon so I could get that review out. But I haven't been able to find anything really. I am working on Hunt 13 and 14. Those are coming along well, especially 14, I'd say. I think it will end up being Hunt 14, but if not, it'll be 13. And that one's doing really well. I've actually been finding a lot of good stuff, just not new stuff. I've been finding Case M actually, and a little bit of Case J, I think it was. So yeah, it's been awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Hunt 12, and so then you're looking forward to the next episodes. This is a nice little sheriff, by the way. But the reason for my inactivity has been mainly because of the fact that I've just been working so much. I literally work Tuesday to Sunday, and then at least 8 hours on average a day. So Tuesday is a nice little easy day for me. I just work in the morning, and I'm usually off in the afternoon. Wednesday, I pretty much work in the morning, have a little break, and then work until 8 o'clock, 8:30 sometimes. And so that's a tough day for me. And then Thursday, it's usually another easier day. But this Thursday will be a long one for me. And Friday will also be a long one because I'm working pretty much until like 5 o'clock each day. And then Saturday and Sunday are also long days for me because that's when the course is very much so hopping with plenty of activity and golfers because everybody's off of work, except for me, of course. And then Monday, the course is closed usually, and I have a nice day off. But on those days off or when I have a short day, I just want to relax or just hang out with my friends, not really come up here and make a video for you guys. But I mean, I do enjoy these, don't get me wrong, but they do exact a lot of work. Like I have to make a thumbnail, I have to get all my cards together, I have to get my thoughts straight so I'm not kind of stuttering throughout my video and stumbling and whatnot. I gotta set up my background and all that stuff. But I really still enjoy them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video in specific. I will see you guys soon for, what I talked about, the XRS stuff and Jenny and Jan, Tan Sedan. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'm not, 100% expert. I just share what I have experienced over the last 6 years that I've been collecting prototypes, maybe a little less than that. I've been collecting cars for, ever since 2006, but I've only gone into the prototype world rather recently because, I've gotten a little more money and therefore have been able to afford some of these more expensive items instead of, just, the regular releases. But yeah, hopefully this all helped you guys and you don't make the same mistakes that I did when I was a little bit, earlier in my prototype collecting career. I even just found out recently that 2 of my prototypes that I showed in that video a couple months ago were fake, and it was embarrassing. I was like, dang, that's embarrassing to me, but it's all right. You live and you learn. So hopefully you guys just have to live. You don't have to learn because this video taught you. So I will see you guys very soon in the next couple days, hopefully for another video. Bye now.